U.S. Marine Corps Navy, Richmond Comic. Richmond Comic, there's a 2-page long bio that we don't have time, but over 20 years service in the U.S. Marine Corps and Navy, which is serving in combat zones in Africa and Persian Gulf and Afghanistan. As a Marine, he flew helicopters in the top end of the Georgia Tech and the Morehouse College as a Marine officer instructor. And in the Navy, which earned the rank of commander and served as department head of emergency medicine department in Kandahar, Afghanistan, which is a graduate of Morehouse School of Medicine, where he was also student body president. That's a big deal when I was a college. And completed residency in emergency medicine through Emory, and while training at Brady Hospital. And many of you probably know he was a candidate for 7th District, Congressman candidate from the 7th District, and then just such a great servant, and then was such the American Korean Friendship Society is so honored to have him and working at the program. So I'd like to invite Dr. Richmond Comic up to the podium, please.
Quite an introduction, and I will say that one of the things that's amazing about Sonny when he does, you think of a person who's been successful, and most people know Sonny's story very well, somebody who's come here with very little and has been so successful, but so generous. And imagine somebody who's done all the things that he's done and succeeded in all the things he's done in life, who shows up here hours before things take place and actually sets up the chairs and talks to each and every person that comes in here and makes sure everybody knows what they're doing. That's something pretty exceptional to get the weeds. And I think most generals know that those people that I've read about in the books, whether it be the Korean War, Vietnam, those generals that were most effective are the ones who were out in the field with the Marines or their soldiers, actually out there doing what they had to do so that they would have the respect that they needed to accomplish their mission. And that's what Sonny's like, and I really respect that. Thank you. I spent several years in the Marine Corps and the Navy, and one of my favorite experiences was training with the Rock Marines. The Rock Marines are exceptional people. My first experience was at the basic school where we had 2 Korean officers that trained with us, and I'll say they probably not only held their own, they did better than most American Marines, which is saying something. Then I spent 3 tours over in Korea doing amphibious assaults and practicing for war against North Korea if we had to. And I will say that there are none of the hardest individuals I've ever trained with. Anybody who spent time with the Rock Marines know that they don't play around. They believe in martial discipline. They believe that they have to be better than anybody else. They have one battlefield, one enemy, and if you lose, it's over. And their motto is simply too soon, which means victory, or we must win. And I love that, I respect that about the Marines there. And the Koreans are hardy people that have been an outstanding ally. And the immigrants that have come here have been outstanding Americans, and we're blessed to have you. So it is quite my honor to be here with you, and also with all these fine veterans who put their lives on the line and sacrifice for a country that is worth it. And hopefully we'll continue to be that country that's worth it. So thank you for your service. First, I'd like to start with the presentation of colors. Please stand. It will be done by the Georgia National Guard Protocol. Now the national anthem will be sung by Annabella Laura Kim from Tally Street Upper Elementary School. Now we will have the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Jimmy Burnett, Mayor of the City of Swan.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for the invocation by Reverend Chung.
Let us bow our heads. Father of all peoples, Father of this world, Creator of the universe, we come before you and give thanks that we have the opportunity to be able to remember and commemorate this day. It is by your providential hand that you have watched over the nation of Korea and upon its people of Korea and allowed us to be able to have the blessings and the fruitfulness in a nation so bountiful, so blessed by you. As we remember how you have saved us, help us to remember how you love us and you continually protect us and watch over us. Be with us throughout this day as we give thanks to those who have sacrificed so much And as we remember, again, your providential hand protecting all of us. In Jesus' name we pray.
Now for the recognition of the Korean War veterans, Mr. Paul Kim, Vice President, American Korean Friendship Society. Please sit down.
Good morning, welcome to everybody today, celebrating the 68th anniversary of the signing of the armistice today. It's a very special day. It's always probably the biggest thrill I get every year is to be able to come up here and to thank and recognize and acknowledge the Korean War veterans. We have a lot of heroes in the room today. For example, we have General Carter. He didn't know I was going to call him out. He's watching him on television every day and thanking him for his service because he did an extraordinary job. But we are here today to honor a particular group of people who need to be recognized and honored. I was reminded this morning how tenuous the future is. I'm reminded this morning of a book that I sent to a friend called Breakout. It was about the breakout of Joseph Reservoir. And there are over 100,000 men encircled when the Chinese come into the war. And all of those men could have been lost, and all of those materials should have been destroyed. And they were not, because Lieutenant Colonel Ray Davis and some of his men marched all night, all day, in freezing temperatures, and helped free those men. And these are those same men here today. These are those men who stepped into the breach, who sacrificed themselves, who saved an entire country, an entire area from oppression. History is not written. The future it can be very tenuous and very fragile, but for the courage and the sacrifice and the honoring of duty of some men, and I just cannot thank them enough, and we cannot thank them enough for their sacrifice and their courageousness. So I'm now going to call out each individual war veteran that's here, and if you could come up and you'll be presented with a corsage. Glenn Blair. Norman Moore. Stan Fisher. Frank Stratton. Thomas Gump. Tony Lazaro. Rodney Rector. Jack Robinson. Ray Sanders. Robert Taylor. Jack Enkerman. Bob Dillon. Harry Jones. Todd Mavis. Meryl Durance. And I really apologize. Is there anyone that I have not called out and recognized? Hollywood. Daryl Wade. Hollywood. Daryl Wade. And we also have a gift card for each of you as well. It's just a very small token, but thank you.
Now we'll have opening remarks by General Larry Ellis, past chairman of the American Korean Friendship Society.
Well, good morning. I am absolutely honored to be part of today's ceremony and to show my respect for the veterans who fought gallantly in the Korean War that ended almost 70 years ago. My purpose this morning is twofold. First, I want to say thank you to our Korean War veterans for their sacrifices and to remember their courage and their dedication. And secondly, I want to thank our service members deployed in Korea and around the globe for defending this great nation and the freedom we enjoy here every day. Just as you, the Korean War veterans, have gone before them, they too are serving apart from their families and their loved ones. Today, I also say thanks to them for their service. The Korean War was a real struggle between freedom and oppression. It was this war where the forces from the United States and our allies proved that we would not stand by while South Korea was being invaded from the north by North Korea and its allies. The alliance in South Korea that we know today exists only because of sacrifices of you and so many other Americans. We pay tribute to those who gave their all and for defending freedom. Without a doubt, the partnership forged between Korean and Americans has grown into one of the strongest alliances in the world. This day, here in Atlanta, we have the privilege of honoring you, our Korean War veterans, and their families. This day, we pay tribute to you. We owe you a great deal. We owe you our freedom. And this day, especially, we owe you our gratitude. So let us remember the veterans who laid down their lives on the Korean Peninsula in defense of freedom for a country they did not know and a people they had never met. Let us also remember those living veterans who are here with us today. And let us never forget their bravery, their sacrifice, and their legacy that they have left to us and all great peoples. I want to again personally thank each of you for answering the call of duty. On this special day, we honor and we respect your service as true American patriots. Thank you for your service.
Now we'll have commemoration remarks by the Honorable Yoon Ju Park, Consul General, Republic of Korea.
Good morning. General Ellis, Major General Thomas Carter, Attorney General Sam Collins, President Norman Wood, Mayor Bernie, Jimmy Bernie, President Sonny Park, American Korean Friendship Society, Korean War veterans and families and distinguished guests. We Koreans are indebted to the American people, in particular missionaries and Korean War veterans. I want to call them founding fathers of our bilateral relations. Our relations dates back to approximately 160 years ago. In the latter half of the 19th century, many American missionaries, including Allen, Arnold, Scranton, and Appenzell, came to Korea. They established universities and hospitals and taught English and modern science. Some of the missionaries fiercely resisted Japanese colonialization of Korea at the end of the 19th century and the first half of the 20th century. Their successors and families also participated in the democratization of Korea in the latter half of the 20th century. Their legacy is deeply engraved in the fabric of contemporary Korean society, not just in terms of Christian compassion, but also respect of human rights and democracy. Another founding fathers of relationships and genuine friends of Korea are Korean War veterans. In 1950, 7 decades ago, the Korean people who had suffered 35 years of Japanese rule faced another adversity which brought more than 5 million casualties. In that dire time of war, Korean young men and women held out their hands to Korea. They fought shoulder to shoulder with Korean people for the sake of freedom and democracy. The bond of two nations were forged in blood. They sowed the seed of our lives. Korean War veterans should take pride in what they have done for people they have never known 7 decades ago. Korea now a prosperous and democratic country is undeniable testament to what you accomplished with your people. Veterans, I cannot thank you enough. I learned that the war left scars in your noble heart of the brave warriors like you, and many of you suffer from sad memories which still haunt you. Despite this, you should never forget the tremendous difference you made for generations of Korean people after the war and the 50 million Korean people living today. Veterans, I, together with all Korean citizens, hold highest administration for you. Our sincere gratitude also goes to your family and friends who never stop worrying about your safety. Thank you, American mothers, fathers, and spouses, brothers and sisters. Veterans, don't forget that we Koreans will never forget our gratitude. I wish all the best to you and your family. God bless you all. Thank you.
And now for special remarks by Major General Thomas Carter, the Georgia Adjutant General. Good morning, everyone. I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here, just to be in the same room with so many outstanding veterans
of the Korean War. All of our previously recognized distinguished guests, thank you for letting me be here. And in my mind, every one of you are VIPs, because you had to be intentional about where you spent your time today. You all had a vote. Nobody made you come and show up today. And to my good friend, Sonny Park, thank you for always being intentional about educating all of us. As I listened to the young lady sing the Korean and the United States national anthem earlier today, I leaned over to General Ellis and I said, if I only thought I had one step left, hearing that little girl sing those two national anthems would definitely give me another step. So I'm just so fired up and excited and humbled just to be among you today as we honor, and we're honored to participate in the solemn recognition of shared sacrifice. Today we pray and tribute to 36,914 American service members who died in that war. We know that 740 of them were from Georgia. As we take a look around and we start laying this out by the numbers, 8,176 Americans listed as missing in action. And at the same time, we honor this special relationship between the Republic of Korea and the United States of America. We share a set of common values and a thirst for freedom, and that thirst will never be satisfied by a dictator. And while many people in the United States of America think that conflict is over, it's not. In fact, on Saturday morning at 1100 hours, I will send the 138 Chemical Company to the Korean Peninsula for a 9-month deployment. It's far from being over. Freedom is not free, and freedom is certainly not assured, but with our partnership with our friends in the Republic of South Korea, I know that we're going to try. We will. We have the resolve. We have the shared values, and I believe that we're going to get there. And we're going to get there hopefully during all of our lifetimes. The stories of sacrifice and honor are repeated thousands of times by thousands of families. And we'll never let ourselves forget the bravery, the heroism, and the courage demonstrated by the men and women who gave all of their tomorrows for our today. Again, you all could have been anywhere today, but you made a conscious decision to be here to remember and to honor our veterans of the Korean conflict, to honor those who gave all for our freedom and for our future, for those little girls who gave out corsages and hugs. When you think about what we're really fighting for, we're fighting for their freedom to reach their full potential in the fullest sense of the word. Again, it's an honor to share this ceremony with you today. May God bless you. May God bless the families of both the missing and the fallen. And may God bless the special relationship between the United States of America and the Republic of Korea. Thank you again for letting me be here.
Now we'll have a welcome remarks by Mr. Yoo Jo Kim, President of the Korean American Association.
Good morning. It is my great honor and privilege to speak in front of Korean War veterans and their families. I'm standing here in the greatest respect to all of you, not only as the president of the association, but also as a member of the Korean American Society in this great country. I would like to thank hosting party and President Sonny Park for their selfless effort for today's event to honor Korean War veterans and for giving me a chance to speak to the veterans and their families. Today, I would like to show my deepest gratitude for the courage and noble spirit of this young American soldier who sacrificed themselves to prospect freedom and democracy against the communists of North Korea during the Korean War. The Korean War was the first ever war that men forces led by the United States military encouraged in an international conflict. It was also the first war that the free and the democratic world fought against communism. The United States defended and saved South Korea from communism. As a result, South Korea has become the most successful case of country that active freedom and prosperity among those countries that became the independent after World War II. The forgotten war became the Korean War and the war that we won. South Korea, it was the first country in the world 72 years ago, is now providing aid to their countries which are suffering from poverty, disease, and war. As a member of the free and developed countries, South Korea will work and work together with the United States of America to bring peace to the world. I cannot emphasize enough that all these achievements were founded on the sacrifice and dedication of American soldiers during the Korean War. Once again, on behalf of Korean Americans in Atlanta and Georgia, I share my deepest respect and gratitude to all Korean War veterans, their families, and their descendants. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.
Now we'll have remarks by Mr. Sam Owens, former Attorney General, State of Georgia.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you today to honor the veterans of the Korean War once again, to see the new Consul General from the Republic of Korea, and to recognize the special relationship between our peoples. Now, thanks to Sunny Park, I had the opportunity to visit the Republic of Korea on 2 occasions. Each time we went to the DMZ. I only wish we could transport millions of Americans to the DMZ to appreciate when someone like General Carter says freedom is not free, or General Ellis. Because when you go to the DMZ and you see the soldiers from the Republic of Korea and you see the soldiers from North Korea, you understand that we live in a dangerous world and that we need to be steadfast in protecting peoples that strive for freedom and liberty. One of the visits, we went to the War Memorial of Korea and we met with the retired General Pak Sun-yuk, who some call the George Washington of rock. Sonny had it said when I was able to lay a wreath at the War Memorial. It was probably one of the highlights of my life. To see our peoples strive to make a better world, to have a world that is healthy for our children. There's nothing better. The Korean people love freedom and democracy and have a robust economy that's frankly envied by the vast majority of nations. Her troops thereafter joined with our troops in Vietnam and Iraq. So as General Ellis stated earlier, we have numerous allies. We have few that are as faithful and as supportive of the United States of America. It truly is a very, very special relationship. May God bless the 740 Georgians who gave the ultimate sacrifice to our country, along with the many Georgians who sustained serious injuries freeing the people of South Korea, fighting for peace and democracy. Let us honor you veterans present here today and your families for what you did, not only for the people of ROK, but for the United States of America. Let us remember that but for our soldiers and the soldiers of like peoples who embrace freedom and liberty, our shared values would not stand as secure. May God bless you.
And now we'll have a response from Korean War veterans, Mr. Norman Board, President, Korean War Veterans Association.
Obviously, I'm very honored. The members of Chapter 19, Ray Davis, are very honored, and all of the veterans are honored for which you have said and done and provided us with. It has been some 73 years since I was there. I landed in Korea, in Wonsan, North Korea, on November the 2nd, 1950. I was attached to the 1st Regiment, chest and pullers on, and it couldn't have been better, except in the road on the night of November the 27th, which I will never forget. And it's ruined my life because when the 27th and Thanksgiving comes around, I have to just think about what happened that night when the Chinese attacked us. Over 100,000. The group that I was with got credit for killing 350 that night. I had a lot of buddies that did not make it. I graduated in high school on June 6, 1950. I had 7 members of that graduating class get killed in Korea. So it's been a touching story all my life. I would like for us just to bow our heads and recognize that we lost a member of our group about 2 weeks ago. Jack Shulin has passed away, and so would you please silence for a minute. Thank you. It's been a wonderful opportunity for all that you have done for us. And I think that, as I've said many times before, you can't help but have a tremendous admiration for the Korean people. If you had been in Seoul, Korea when I was there sometime in the middle of June or July of 1950 and seen it, you couldn't find hardly 2 bricks to go together. And now you look at it, and you look what a tremendous job they have done. Korea has now become the 10th largest economy in the world. And if you can't admire that, and I thank all of you that have participated in that, it's been unbelievable. And I'll tell you, all I can say is I love you.
At this time, those who are going to lay wreaths will please go to the back of the room. The first wreath will be laid by the Republic of Korea. The second wreath will be laid by the South Korean battery. Correction, the American Korean Friendship Society. The next wreath will be laid by the Korean War veterans. The next wreath will be laid by the Korean Association of Atlanta. The next wreath will be laid by the U.S. Senate. The next wreath will be laid by the Korean War vets. I believe it's Gates. The next wreath will be laid by the Georgia National Guard. The next wreath will be laid by the South Korean Battery of Georgia. The next wreath will be laid by the Korean Intermarriage Women's Association. The next wreath will be laid by the Korean American Restaurant Association. At this time, we'd like to thank you for all attending this marvelous event. Thank you to Sonny for arranging this and going out of his way. Thank you for all of you for being here and uniting after such a trying last year. God bless you. God bless Korea. And God bless the United States of America.